How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to just talk about rituals and behaviours, habits from just sort of a little bit of a weird perspective. I don't know how to title this one yet, I haven't figured it out. But I was out the other day and I was walking out. We've moved into a new house, as you know, and I've sort of established myself a routine now of walking in the morning. So I leave the house roughly at 7. It's still pretty dark, but it's starting to get light. And I walk the same route. And we're living in the countryside, so we're passing by, or I'm passing by in the mornings, a lot of different houses. And I've got to know where all the dogs are. And each dog will bark in the same way every morning, right? One dog will come up and just do a real vicious bark at the, feeling like he's going to rip my leg off. Another dog will come up and sort of bark once. There's one dog that just barks once at me, and then I walk past and that's it, There's another house where there's 6 or 7 dogs, and they all bark madly, right? They just go berserk. But it always needs this one little dog. There's 3 Alsatians, there's a pit bull terrier, and there's 2 small dogs. The smallest dog is like a small little Jack Russell type of a thing. And none of the other dogs will bark until he barks, right? Or she, whatever it is. And then they'll just go mad, But I was thinking that's sort of the way that we go through lives, we get used to barking in our own ways, We establish our own rituals and routines in so many different areas of our lives, not only in drinking alcohol, but in everything that we do. I mean, I've spoken about this before in another video, where how we sit down, how we breathe, how we eat, how we talk, how we think, all sort of come out through rituals and stuff, And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I mean, I've got into to tea at the moment, and I've always been fascinated by the Japanese rituals of tea making. They go through a very elaborate. Some of these rituals last for an hour or 2 hours or more. I don't want to go down that route, but I do like the ritual of making my tea and warming up the teapot first, and then putting the tea bag in and letting the tea brew for a little while before I drink it, and then pouring it out in a certain way into my cup. And it's just a nice way of doing things. And I had the same sort of rituals when I was drinking. I drank in the same way. My first pint of Guinness always went down really quickly. The second pint a bit slower. And other people used to say, "What the fuck are you doing? Jesus, you drink that fast, But that was the way I did things, Same way as I eat. I eat fast as well, Esther's always giving out to me, slow down when you're eating, And that's just the way I eat, And I'm trying to sort of slow down, because I think if I eat slower, I'm going to eat less. That's probably a good thing at the moment, is to eat a bit less. But it just got me thinking that the other day about the rituals and stuff. I don't know if there's any point to this, other than to sort of say, well, any pattern, any behavior, any ritual, any habit that you've got in your life has been built up over your lifetime, right? Some of them, some rituals are built up over the period of a life. Others are built up over months or years or whatever. But any pattern that you've got in your life can also be broken down, deconstructed as well as constructed. And oftentimes we do these things in our sleep, unconsciously, even though we're awake. We're sort of, we spend 90% of our time sort of in this waking sleep, where we're going through just performing these subconscious rituals. We don't even realize that we're doing. We're thinking about something completely different, and we're performing this. Driving down the road is a great one. Once you're a seasoned driver, how often do you actually think about what you're doing driving down the road? And sometimes you'll be going 120 kilometers an hour down a motorway, faster, some people, and you're not actually thinking about the car or the process of driving, the brakes or the changing gears or the acceleration or anything like that. That's a scary thought, you know. But our fantastic brains allow us to do that, you know. So I think that, you know, from this perspective, if you can bring those patterns up, the ones that you don't want in your life, the ones that are causing you harm, or the ones that are preventing you from doing other things in your life, the things that you want to do, you first have to bring those up into your conscious awareness in order to break them down. You know, you have to be aware that you're doing them first, you know, before you can do something about it, right? And that's the point of the story. As I say, just a frivolous one. It was something that I was thinking a couple of days ago when I was out walking amongst the dogs. So I hope you got something out of that. Maybe I'll have a better one tomorrow. Until tomorrow, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye.